All right, what is going on, people of the world? I am here to share about the Libra full moon that is happening April 7th at 9, let's see, we have it right here, at 9:34 p.m. to be exact. So I am going to go through this Libra full moon. So the moon is in Libra, as you can see here. The moon is in Libra at 18 degrees and the sun is in Aries at 18 degrees. So when the sun and the moon are opposing each other, that's what makes it a full moon. They're exactly opposing each other. And yes, this full moon is at 18 degrees. So you can pull up your birth chart and you can see if you have anything within your personal birth chart at 18 degrees. If you have anything, any planets in the sign of Libra, Aries, Cancer, or Capricorn around 18 degrees, I'd give it a few degree orb either way, like maybe within 5 degrees of that on either side. Then this full moon is going to be strongly impacting you and making a strong aspect to your personal birth chart. So you may be feeling this energy more intensely. So with full moons are a time of culmination. It's a time of completion, of harvesting what has been, grown throughout the lunar cycle. So with this full moon being in Libra, Libra is the sign of balance. First of all, it's a sign of balance in the scales. It represents peace and harmony. And so I think that is really the theme for this full moon. It's about finding a new balance and creating new harmony in our lives after so much has changed this year. So in order to talk more about the full moon and this energy, I want to, kind of share some of the other aspects that are going on and what's brought us to this point to just better understand what this energy is calling on us at this time. So it has been quite a year, right? As we all know, it has been it's been like a million years condensed into the first few months of 2020. So much has changed. Let's continue to talk about the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. We had that in January. Saturn and Pluto coming together, the two most malefic, the two most transformative, arguably transformative, powerful planets. So Saturn representing the structures in our lives, the government structures, businesses, banks, the economy, society, like traditions, rules that we follow. That planet coming together with the planet of death and destruction and transformation and rebirth, regeneration. And this planet, Pluto, is also associated with exposing things, bringing things up to the surface that have been hidden, that have been buried, that have been underneath the scenes. And so I think we can all see that going on, and you can look back throughout history. Whenever Saturn and Pluto come together, it's lasting fucking changes, like powerful, life-changing events that take place, individually within each of us and globally. We can see this taking place. So we can see these two planets coming together. We can feel the effects of the Saturn-Pluto conjunction that was in January, and we're going to continue to be working with this energy throughout this year. It's a long process, right? It's a really big process of tearing down the old structures, tearing down society as we know it, tearing down like the foundation. This very much the foundation is associated with Saturn and Capricorn energy. So we're literally like fucking exploding the foundation, the foundation, the structures. It's all crumbling. It's all being, exposed. It's being brought up to the surface. It's like slowly falling apart. And then it's going to take time to build something new. It's going to take time to build a new foundation. It's going to take time to, kind of realign yourself and your life to adjust to these changes that are going on, this huge collective global shift that is taking place. So, and I think that's very much what we're stepping into with this Libra full moon. Like, we're trying to adjust, we're trying to find balance, we're trying to create a new balance, a new sense of normal in our lives after so much has changed. So to continue with the Saturn-Pluto energy, I'll just speak to this little party going on over here. So we had Saturn and Pluto that were together. We've got Pluto here and Saturn here. And now, you know, that conjunction is lightening. Some planets are going to go retrograde, but so they're going to stay in conversation with each other. But the actual conjunction has passed. And so that energy is softening, and we're kind of, you know, starting to rebuild and create a new foundation. But Saturn was in Capricorn, and now Saturn has moved into Aquarius. So I just want to touch on that because that's a pretty big fucking deal. Saturn stays in each sign for about 2.5 years. So Saturn's been in Capricorn for the last 2.5 years. And now with it going into Aquarius, it's started a whole new cycle. So again, Saturn represents the structures in our lives. Saturn represents the government. It represents the economy. It represents the rules that we follow, the traditions, the boundaries that we can work within, like as humanity, as society. What are the collective rules, the structures that are in place to hopefully, you know, you would think, to support humanity, to help the actual people on the planet. So if that's not the case, and that hasn't been the case, right? There's been the way that the world has been operating has not been working. It's not been helpful. Like the world's been on fire, global warming, like shit needed to change. We needed to have a really big change, and I feel that's what's going on. With Saturn moving into Aquarius, now it's creating new structures. We're building something new. We're laying a new foundation. And Aquarius is very different than Capricorn energy, right? Although Saturn does love to be in Capricorn and Aquarius, but Capricorn is the sign, again, it's associated with Saturn now. In astrology, it's associated with Saturn. Capricorn rules the government, it rules tradition, it rules structures, it rules like how we've been doing things, like this is how things have always been done, let's keep doing it that way. And now this, you know, the sign after Capricorn, Aquarius, is like, okay, let me know all the rules so I know exactly how to break them. How can I break out of this box and create new structures and build something totally new? Aquarius is the humanitarian, so it's much more focused on, you know, the collective energy. How can we come together? How can we, you know, build within our communities? How can we get closer to the people within our community? How can we, you know, share different services? Aquarian energy is very much like the individual. You know, embracing its eccentricity, embracing the unique gifts that it came to share. And so Aquarius is a very futuristic, future forward thinking sign. So they're constantly like going to the future and bringing back, you know, different ideas that can revolutionize the times that we're in. So Aquarian energy is very different than Capricorn. Aquarius, wants to break out of the box. It's the sign that's associated with revolution and with rebellion, with, you know, kind of standing up to these authority figures and like what is actually good for the people. You know, Aquarius being the sign that represents humanity and being the humanitarian, it's like, and it's an air sign, so it's very easily able to like detach and to see things more objectively, more logically. Like, how can we create more compassion here? What are the things that need to change? What are the systems that need to change so that we can like actually support humanity, so that we can support the humans living here? What do we need to put in place to change the system so that it's working for the people, not just for the people in power? So I think that is what's being reworked right now. A lot of shit is being brought up to the surface. It's being exposed, and then we're gonna need to rebuild a new foundation. Nobody knows exactly what that's gonna look like. And the people that have Saturn in Aquarius right now, they're moving through your Saturn return, Saturn being associated with your life lesson, the work that you came here to do. So I feel like those people with their Saturn return, with their natal Saturn in Aquarius, they're really kind of the ones building this new foundation. Like, they're needing to figure out how they can work and how they can offer their services with this world that is changing so rapidly. So that's a little bit of the backstory of like what's been going on, to put words to the energy that we're moving through, that I know everybody can feel, this collective shift that is taking place out of the old systems, the old patriarchy, the old ways of doing things that have been outdated. It's been killing the earth. It's been destroying people. Like, people aren't happier now because they have a whole bunch more shit. Like, we need to change everything. We need to get back to the basics of how we're supposed to live. And I feel like the Aquarian age is really helping us. Like, it's helping us to be to create new technologies, to take things that are maybe like from the future, to revolutionize different things that we have. So it's not just like to get back to our roots and to push away all the good things that technology or that you know, that kind of stuff has brought us, but to stay connected to our roots, to stay connected to our human nature, to what it means to be a human. And I think we're all individually like reworking that, like reviewing that within ourselves. Like, what does it actually mean to be here? What's the point of it all now that like everything's been taken away from you? What matters? Like, what truly matters? So yeah, so there's some shifts happening. Okay, so yeah, that's a little bit of the Capricorn and Aquarius energy to give you a little bit of a backstory of what's been going on. And now with this the full moon in Libra, with this Libra full moon, leading up to it, like Sunday and Monday, it's felt like with the moon has been in Virgo. It's been moving through Virgo, and then it's going to come here and it's going to oppose the sun, and then that's when it'll be the full moon. So as I just wanted to draw it here. So that's when the full moon is happening. But as like Sunday and Monday with the moon being in Virgo, it's felt like a lot of there's been so many things going on, so much mental activity, you know, not only what's going on globally, just like receiving new information every fucking day. It's like rapid fire of just new information and what's happening and what are the rules now, and everything's changing. And then like your own internal dialogue of like, okay, how do I adjust to that? Like, what do I need to focus on right now? I don't know what's happening. I don't know what I can do, you know? So it's a lot of stories like that going on. And I think with the Virgo, as the moon has been moving through Virgo Sunday and Monday, we've been hopefully being able to ground, to give ourselves a little bit of grounding despite all of the mental stimulation that's been going on, and kind of starting to like find order and starting to structure, to have more structure and to organize things and to tie up the loose ends. I feel like with this full moon, it really is it's an ending. You know, full moons are endings, completion. It's an ending of an old life, an old way of expressing ourselves. That's very much the Libra and Aries energy. Like, who am I and how do I relate to other people? Aries, who am I? Libra, who am I in relation to other people? So I feel like the few days leading up to this full moon, we've really been tying up the loose ends, and yeah, and creating structure and getting everything organized. And like, sure, we don't have all the information. When are things going to open up? What's this new world going to look like? Like, what the fuck is going on? We don't have all of that information, but we do have some information, and we can we can do what we have with the information that we've been given, and we can tend to the different things in our lives that's helping us like close old chapters, tie up the loose ends of who we used to be, and prepare to express ourselves in a new way moving forward. Prepare, like aligning ourselves with how we want to be moving forward. What are the services that we can offer? How can we better support ourselves and other people? Like, what is the collective need at this time? You know, we're looking at our dharmic work. What is your dharma? What is it that you came here to do? There's one like kind of more broad plan, like one dharmic purpose for you, but the way that you express that can change. Like, it's fluid, it's flowing, it's changing, it's adaptable. So that's what we're doing at this time. We're adapting to what's going on. We're changing, you know, within what our dharmic purpose is. We can change the ways that we offer it, or that we support people at different times based on what's going on in the world. So yeah, this Libra full moon, okay, so let's talk about the Libra and Aries energy a little bit. So, you know, the sun being in Aries, the moon being in Libra, the conversation between these two energies is, well, it's fire and air. Aries is the first sign in the zodiac. Aries is very instinctual. It doesn't necessarily think so much about things. It's like strong point is to just fucking go, to just do it, to just take action, to just move forward. You know, Aries isn't like getting caught in the weighing the options and the thinking things through fully, and like you know, it's not caught in indecision like maybe Libra can be. Aries is just moving forward, it's taking action. It's like, okay, who am I? what is my identity? Like they're just moving into the world and they're figuring it out. It's the first sign in the zodiac. It's like a being born. It has almost like a naive energy to it that can help it really just like pull the trigger and get shit done, because it doesn't sit there constantly weighing all sides of everything. And that's what Libra, it can do. I mean, there's a high road and a low road to every sign. So Aries, you know, maybe the low road for Aries is they can be very reactive, they can be fiery, they can be self-centered, they can, you know, yeah. So to just give you a little bit of the low road of Aries. So we're trying to obviously find the balance, find the middle ground. And with this Libra full moon that rules balance. But the Libra energy, okay, so that's Aries. It's very much about themselves, what it is that they need to do, what their identity is, you know, what is it that they're offering with the world. And the Libra energy is like, okay, who am I in relation to you? It's the sign, the first sign on the upper half of the zodiac wheel. So it's the first sign after you've like figured out who you are, your identity, how you communicate with other people. And then you're moving into the upper half, which is like, how do I relate to the world around me? And so the Libra energy, it represents balance and harmony in the scales. It's associated with the planet Venus. It's very much about like creating beauty in our lives. You know, the low road of Libra is that it can get caught in indecision. It can get caught in seeing all sides of everything, being able to, you know, understand where everybody's coming from and not wanting to upset anyone, not wanting to offset the balance. So then they just get like caught in indecision and not being able to move forward. So, you know, another thing with the Libra energy is that they can put themselves on the back burner. They can focus too much on other people. They can focus too much on relationships. They can focus too much on just things outside of themselves. And when they need to pull their energy back in and really make decisions in their own best interest, not just what's going to make other people happy, but what is it that's really going to make you happy at this time? Like, what do you need to change in your life so that you can create a new balance? Like the old way that we've been doing things, our old balance has been completely fucked. Like it's been completely thrown off kilter. It's not where it used to be. And that's great. Like we're here to adapt and to be able to change and to flow with these times. So we're creating a new balance in our lives right now. Like, what is it that we need to let go of? What are the loose ends that we need to tend to so that we can fully close out that chapter? And now we can be at a place of creating a new balance and a new harmony within our lives as to how it is that we show up in the world, how we relate to other people. You know, there's a lot of different, like, obviously different perspectives, different ideas as to what's going on. Everybody has their own perspective as to what can be happening. And Libra's like, okay, you know, that's all great. We're all entitled to our own opinion and our own belief as to what's going on in the world. But how can we come together and coexist, right? Libra, Aquarius energy is very much about that. Like we can all have our own opinion. We can all think that different things are going on. But in the end, none of it fucking matters. Like none of it really matters. What matters is can we come together and can we peacefully coexist with all of these differing like viewpoints, points of views on what's happening in the world and like what, you know, what the right way to live is and all of that. Like can we disconnect from the external chaos? Can we ground into ourselves? Can we really connect with what our truth is? Not just, you know, we're not just living our lives to make the other people around us happy and comfortable and to keep the balance, you know, within their eyes, but we're okay offsetting the balance for a period of time so we can recenter, so we can you know, figure out what a new balance is for us. Yeah. Okay. I don't know how long I've been going here for. If there's no time happening. Yeah, I mean, there's some supportive aspects that are happening with this full moon. Venus has moved into Gemini. It's supporting Saturn and Mars. Chiron is also being supported by Mars. Like there's some support happening in the chart. There's some support to us shifting ourselves, shifting our lives to better like interact with the times that we're in. Yeah, I feel like we're closing a really big chapter of how we used to live, how we used to show up. The world is no longer, you know, what it once was. It's changed forever. And And I think it's up to us, right? It's up to the people, it's up to the humans here, it's up to humanity to come together and to create this new world and to create this new earth. And the only way that that can happen, you know, the only way that that can happen, the only way that we can create change truly is to start with ourselves, right? Like we all know that truth. It's just like, do you actually take it and implement it and apply it to your lives, or do you just like post a picture of that meme that, like, you know, it all starts with me, I have to change myself and then the world changes? It's like, no, now is the time to actually put that into action. So how can you center yourself? Libra being the middle sign in the zodiac, it's about balance. It's the scales. It's the only inanimate objects. It's not an animal. It's not a person. It's the scales. It's how do I find balance? And Libra, the Libra people, you know, I'm a Libra. We're not all necessarily the most like balanced people in the world, but we're striving to create balance, maybe by going one end of the spectrum to the other. And so by going to each side, we're figuring out like what feels good, what's a new balance for us, how can I adjust myself, how can I alter, you know, maybe my services, what I'm sharing with the world, how can I step up and serve humanity, how can I still share my dharmic work, but maybe it's completely transforming. And again, like I was saying, that the world is no longer the same. It's no longer what we, you know, once knew it to be. And so it's up to the people to create this change. Yeah, to create the change that we want to see externally, we need to find it. We need to find that balance within ourselves. We need to be able to ground. We need to be able to ground despite what is going on externally, despite the, you know, constant flow of information. You get on social media, you get on, like, God forbid, you get on the TV or the news. I don't even know how much information is coming at you from there, but we need to be able to detach and to find our own personal center and to be able to ground and to find peace and to slow down and to know, like, you know, this is very much a Libra conversation. When do you need to like pull your energy back in because you're just like connected to too many different things? Like there's lines of energy from you to the news, to social media, to all this stuff that's coming in. Like, how do you detach from that and you come back to yourself and you really get clear on, okay, how can I do the things within my world, you know, within my energy field? How can I tend to those things to create a new balance, to find some sort of balance, even though whatever the fuck is going on externally, whatever is going on in the world, it doesn't matter. How can you pull that energy back in and you can create this new balance within yourself? You can, you know, shift things a little bit. You can alter how it is that you show up, how you serve, how you, how you take care of yourself, how you share your gifts with the collective, with humanity. Yeah, you can find that sense of balance despite what is going on. And I think even though we've had that wild aspect, I mean, Saturn and Pluto coming together, and then we still have Jupiter and Pluto together that are going to be kind of in a conversation with each other all throughout the year as these planets retrograde and will continue to dance together. But this aspect, this is actually called the millionaire's aspect, which I think is pretty interesting, to Jupiter and Pluto. And it's interesting because what we're experiencing in the world right now, you might not think that with like the economy and what's happening to money and that dropping like lower than when the Great Depression was. So it's interesting that this is the millionaire's aspect that we have happening in the chart. You know, if somebody was born with this aspect, that's what it would be called. And so I think with Jupiter and Pluto coming together, I mean, it can go, all of these aspects, they can go a few different ways. Like Jupiter is an expansive energy. So it's just going to expand whatever it touches. And right now, I think it's expanding on, you know, the shit that needs to be exposed. Pluto, the stuff that's underneath the surface that needs to be brought into the light. Like it's really expanding on all of the darkness of the world. I mean, it's putting it right in our faces, right? And I think that's something that not a lot of people are comfortable with. Unless if you have a strong Scorpio, strong Pluto energy in your chart, it's probably not, you're not like naturally inclined to just dive into the dark, deep heavy shit that people don't want to look at. And so I think right now it's uncomfortable on so many different levels. It's uncomfortable, the stuff that's being thrown in our face, that you know, all the stuff that's being exposed and brought to the surface that we have to look at, we have to acknowledge, we have to hold love and light within ourselves, despite, you know, how dark and heavy it gets externally. We have to be able to transmute that energy, to understand that needed to happen, and we need to move through this period of transformation. We need to allow the dying off of the old things, and we need to stand strong in the structures that we want as the collective, as the fucking humans here, as humanity. What are the structures that we want to be put in place, you know, moving forward, that's actually going to support the people here? And so I think that's when the people really need to come together, and we need to think about the collective, and we need to think about the type of world that we want to be living in. And we need to start individually on a local level. You need to start within your communities. You need to start building community, start getting connected with the people around you. Like, we need to make that change within ourselves. And I think that this Libra full moon is a beautiful time to find a new balance that maybe you've never had before in your life, because the world is asking new things from us that I don't think any of us have experienced. And so it's calling on us new things, a new sense of balance. So how can you make peace with your old self, the old life that is not coming back? And it's not coming back for a reason, because you're meant to step into something new. So how can you make peace with that? You can tie up those loose ends. You can say a prayer, you can, you know, bless up the past and let it go. And you can create a new balance, you know, ask God, goddess, source, like, what is it that I need to do? What do I need to do at this time? How can I be, you know, a clear vessel for you to move through me? How can I share my dharmic work? Like, allow me to be empty, allow me to empty, and to just, like, yeah, let you flow through me, and to guide me as to how I can create a new balance and a new structure, new foundation for my life. A new way of being human, a new way of approaching the world, a new way that you show up in relationships. I mean, Libra being the sign of relationships, we can really look at all kinds of relationships, intimate relationships, non-intimate, just friendships, whatever, different ages, just how you interact with other people. You know, how can we peacefully coexist? How can we, you know, Aries, how can we know what our truth is? How can we commit to, you know, ourselves, commit to our identity? Like, this is what I stand for. This is, you know, where I draw the line. This is where my boundaries are. And then how can I show up with other people is very much a Libra conversation. How can I, you know, share that message with other people while not like shoving it down their throats? How can I just stand peacefully in my truth, honor other people's truths, even if it's different than mine? And how can we peacefully coexist in a world that is like rapidly changing? We need to ground, we need to find our center, and we need to accept the new balance that is wanting to move forward. Yeah. Yep. That's what I have to share. Yeah. Yeah, I feel good with that. Okay. I hope that this helps you. I hope that this supports you at this time. I hope that you are finding that new balance and that new sense of center, of peace, of just a new balance for yourself. I hope that you're settling into that with this full moon. And I hope that this helped put words to the energy that we've been moving through. If you would like to book a reading with me, you can do so through my site at cosmicguidance.online. I will put that in the description below. I have a sliding scale of prices. If you're interested in getting a reading, I've discounted my prices. So I've got a sliding scale, so you can reach out to me, or you can see that on my Instagram. I'll tag that. I'll put that in the description box below as well. But I hope this was helpful. Thank you for being here. And that was all for now. Okay.